I never thought a simple modeling audition could turn my life upside down. One moment, I was nervously pacing in the lobby, rehearsing my walk, my poses, my confident smile. The next, I was staring at myself in a mirror, completely unrecognizable. My jawline was softer, my shoulders narrower, my body subtly reshaped, curves forming where there had been none. My hair, it flowed in glossy waves down my back, longer than I'd ever had. My chest felt different too, the contours unmistakably feminine. I stumbled back, heart hammering in my chest, gripping the edge of the vanity. "This can't be real," I whispered, voice higher, lighter, softer. Every syllable sounded alien, almost musical. My hands flew to my face, smooth, delicate, almost fragile. I could barely process the reflection staring back at me. The modeling agency had called it transformational experience, a way to make models versatile, able to embody any aesthetic. I had laughed when I first heard it. A few adjustments, some styling, and you'll be ready. But this was beyond styling. I pressed my palm against the mirror, my eyes wide. My lips, once square and unremarkable, were full and soft. My eyes seemed larger, more expressive, almost magnetic. A shiver ran through me, part fear, part curiosity. My thoughts raced. What if I can't go back? What if everyone sees me like this? What if I actually like it? The first days outside the studio were terrifying. I walked home, avoiding windows, avoiding anyone who might glimpse my reflection. Even my own hands felt foreign, dainty, graceful in ways that made me pause every few steps. At work, nothing felt normal. My colleagues glanced at me curiously, whispers brushing past my ears like static. "You look different today," my manager said, a careful smile on his lips. "Yeah, I'm experimenting," I muttered, feeling my face flush. My voice, so soft and high, made me wince. Every sentence I spoke sounded like a performance, and yet, it was my new reality. I avoided mirrors at the office, preferring the comfort of my desk tucked away in a corner. But I couldn't hide from myself. Each reflection in a window, each polished surface reminded me, I wasn't who I was yesterday. Even friends noticed. "Shoaib, are you okay?" one of them asked hesitantly over lunch. "I'm fine," I lied, gripping my water bottle so tightly my knuckles turned white. Inside, I was a storm of confusion, excitement, and terror. Every small change, the tilt of my hips, the sway of my walk, the curve of my hair, was a shock to my identity. And yet, beneath the fear, a small thrill bubbled. This is new. This is different. This might even feel good. Late at night, alone in my apartment, I started experimenting in secret. I pulled out dresses and skirts the agency had provided, soft fabrics that felt luxurious against my skin. I brushed my hair, tracing the silky strands through my fingers, marveling at the unfamiliar texture. Makeup became my new obsession. Blush that warmed my cheeks, eyeliner that made my eyes seem deeper, lipstick that made my lips feel alive. The first time I applied mascara, my eyes widened in shock. "This actually suits me," I whispered to myself, almost embarrassed. "You look beautiful." My voice cracked slightly, and I laughed nervously, spinning in front of the mirror. The skirt swished around my knees as I twirled, the heels giving me a delicate sway. I could feel my body adjusting naturally, my posture softening, my gestures becoming more fluid. The thrill was intoxicating. Each time I experimented, each new outfit, each subtle touch of makeup, I discovered another layer of myself I had never known. And yet, a knot of fear always lingered. What if someone sees? What if this is wrong? Weekends became my testing ground. The first outing was a quiet cafe visit. I wore a light dress, hair falling perfectly over my shoulders, heels clicking softly on the tiled floor. Every glance felt magnified. Every whisper seemed directed at me. My pulse raced, but I walked with my chin up, practicing the confidence I had been learning in front of mirrors alone. "Excuse me, love your hair," a stranger said, smiling genuinely. My heart leapt, cheeks flushing with warmth. "Thanks," I whispered, voice lighter than ever, melodic. The interaction was small, yet monumental. For the first time, someone outside the controlled environment of the studio accepted me fully. Encouraged, I began venturing further, parks, boutiques, even casual gatherings. Each interaction, each compliment, Each smile reinforced the new persona forming inside me. I could see it in my reflection. A confident, radiant woman who carried herself with grace. And yet, the fear never fully left. A wrong glance, a whispered comment, a hesitant chuckle from strangers could still send my heart racing. The tipping point came unexpectedly. A friend invited me to a casual party, a small gathering with people from work and school. My heart pounded as I dressed. This was public, and most attendees had known me as him. Anxiety gripped me, but the thrill of testing myself was irresistible. Heels clicked sharply as I entered, all eyes momentarily turning toward me. Whispers fluttered across the room. My chest tightened. Do they know? Are they judging me? But then, a friend approached, smiling warmly. Wow, you look amazing. Relief washed over me in a tide of warmth. Laughter, conversation, and casual interaction followed, and for the first time, I felt fully present. The fear was still there, but it was tempered with pride. Each glance, each compliment, each acknowledgement reinforced a truth I was beginning to embrace. This was me, fully. The real test arrived at the studio. The agency wanted photos of versatile models, and I had been cast as a featured female persona for a high-profile campaign. The lights, cameras, and makeup team surrounded me, adjusting, perfecting, guiding. My chest fluttered with nerves, my hands trembled. Can I really do this? Will they accept me, or reject me? When the camera clicked, something shifted. The fear melted into exhilaration. I posed naturally, fluidly, effortlessly. Each movement, each glance, each tilt of my head felt authentic. And when I saw the first shots, I gasped. The images captured not just a model, they captured me. Confidence, beauty, femininity, presence. I had transformed, not just physically, but emotionally, socially, spiritually. Then came the confrontation I had feared most, family. They had noticed subtle changes, hair longer, voice higher, gestures more delicate. Sitting in my living room, I felt the weight of their curiosity and concern. Shoaib, we see the changes, my mother said carefully. Are you happy? My chest tightened. For weeks I had measured happiness in stolen glances, private experiments, and small victories. But now, faced with those who knew me longest, I realized happiness was not fleeting, it was a declaration. Yes, I said firmly, voice steady. I am happier than I've ever been. I've discovered myself. Tears welled in my eyes as relief, joy, and liberation mingled. My parents exchanged a glance and then enveloped me in a warm, embracing hug. Acceptance. Validation. Love. The journey, terrifying and exhilarating, had led me here, fully visible, fully authentic, fully empowered. Public life became an adventure. I learned to navigate the world with this new identity. Every outing, every encounter, every reflection reinforced my confidence. Friends noticed a glow, strangers offered compliments that no longer frightened me but emboldened me. I had learned that authenticity, courage, and self-acceptance were the ultimate transformations. Even work became easier. Colleagues who had questioned me before now treated me with respect, admiration, curiosity tempered by warmth. I walked through hallways with intention, heels clicking with authority, hair flowing, posture graceful. Every step reinforced a simple but profound truth. I was no longer hiding. I was thriving. In private, I continued to experiment, to explore. New outfits, new makeup techniques, even subtle voice inflections became tools of empowerment. The mirror, once a source of fear and disbelief, became an ally, a friend reflecting not just appearance, but growth, courage, and identity. Every glance in a window, every whispered compliment, every fleeting interaction reminded me that transformation was not a temporary trick, it was an evolution. I had started as a hesitant, fearful boy seeking opportunity, and I emerged as a confident, radiant woman embracing her power, beauty, and authenticity. The agency had turned me into one of the girls, but what I discovered went far deeper. I had become fully myself, empowered, confident, and unafraid. The external changes were only the beginning. The real transformation had happened inside, my courage, my confidence, my acceptance, my joy. And standing there, heels clicking on the pavement, wind teasing my hair, I understood fully. The world could stare, whisper, judge, but I no longer flinched. I had claimed my identity.
I had claimed my life.
And in doing so, I had discovered a power far greater than any photoshoot, audition, or runway could ever give me, the power of being unapologetically, unshakably, and beautifully me. The days after that first terrifying mirror encounter were some of the most surreal of my life. Every morning, I woke up half expecting the transformation to have vanished overnight, as if it had all been a fevered dream.
But it hadn't.
My reflection was still there, soft, feminine, utterly unrecognizable. And the world outside seemed sharper, somehow. Every glance from a passerby, every accidental reflection in a window or polished surface felt loaded with judgment or curiosity. I began avoiding mirrors in public spaces, trying to shrink into baggy hoodies and loose pants.
But hiding didn't work. My body had changed in ways I couldn't disguise.
My hips curved, my legs seemed longer, my shoulders narrower. Even the way I moved was different, softer, more deliberate, more graceful. Walking through the streets felt like an experiment in social perception, each step uncertain yet intoxicating. At work, subtle changes sparked whispers and curious stares. My colleagues tried to be polite, but I could feel it, the unspoken question. Is that really Shoaib? Every casual glance toward me made my pulse spike. You're different, my manager said one day, hesitating mid-sentence. Yeah, experimenting, I muttered, forcing a smile that felt foreign on my lips. Friends noticed too. One asked, softly, Shoaib, are you feeling okay? I froze, unsure how much to reveal. I'm fine, I lied, but inside, panic mingled with an undeniable thrill. Every interaction reminded me, this wasn't just about looks. Everything about me had changed, the way I sounded, moved, even felt in my own skin. Late nights became my sanctuary. Alone in my apartment, I finally allowed myself to explore the transformation without fear. I pulled out the garments the agency had provided, silky skirts, flowing blouses, dresses that felt impossibly soft. The first time I put one on, I almost gasped. The fabric hugged curves I didn't know existed, swishing softly as I moved. My reflection in the full-length mirror startled me. I looked elegant, delicate, and undeniably feminine. I started experimenting with makeup, hands shaking at first. Foundation to smooth my skin, blush to give warmth to my cheeks, eyeliner to make my eyes seem larger, lips painted with soft, glossy shades. The first time I applied mascara, my eyes widened in shock.
This actually suits me,
I whispered to myself, almost embarrassed. You look beautiful. The voice that came out was lighter, softer, melodic, a stranger and yet not. I twirled in front of the mirror, skirt swishing, heels clicking softly. My body responded naturally, hips swaying, posture straightening, gestures becoming delicate and fluid. A strange thrill coursed through me, mixed with fear. What if someone sees?
What if this is wrong? But the excitement was addictive.
Each new discovery, the way my hair felt silky between my fingers, the lightness of my movements, the sound of my new voice, pulled me deeper into this new identity. Curiosity grew stronger. I began testing small outings, coffee runs, walks through the park, boutique visits. My first real challenge was a cafe visit. I wore a simple dress, heels I'd practiced walking in, and let my hair fall naturally over my shoulders. Each step felt like walking on a tightrope. Whispers and glances followed me, or at least, I imagined they did.
My heart pounded.
Excuse me, love your hair, a stranger said, smiling warmly. I froze, cheeks flushing. Thanks, I whispered, voice trembling slightly. It was a small interaction, but monumental. For the first time, someone outside the controlled studio environment accepted me fully. The thrill was intoxicating, and I felt an unfamiliar surge of confidence mingled with anxiety. Encouraged, I started venturing further, testing my identity in more public spaces. Each interaction, smiles, compliments, casual conversations, helped me practice confidence and presence. I could see the reflection of a woman emerging in every surface, graceful, radiant, and alive. But fear was always close, whispering. A wrong glance, a critical comment, a single misstep could undo everything. Then came the first social test, a small gathering with friends, some of whom had known me as my old self. Anxiety gripped me as I chose my outfit carefully, a soft, flowing dress, delicate earrings, heels that made me sway elegantly. Walking through the door felt like stepping onto a stage. Eyes turned, whispers flickered through the room. My chest tightened. But then a friend smiled and said, "Wow, you look amazing."
Relief washed over me. The tension eased.
Conversations followed, laughter, casual interactions. For the first time, I felt fully present, fully myself.
The fear lingered but was tempered by pride.
Each smile, each compliment, each acknowledgement strengthened the identity I had been nurturing in secret. By the end of the night, I realized something vital. I could exist in this world as this new persona, and perhaps this was not just experimentation, but a truth I was meant to embrace. The real test came sooner than I expected. It wasn't a dramatic reveal or a confrontation. It was subtle, quiet, and terrifying in its own way. One afternoon, the agency asked me to participate in a public photo shoot at a trendy outdoor location.
I knew it would draw attention.
People would see me, recognize the new me, and I had no idea how they, or I, would react.